Section 768, Deleted Portion. You have often said that these books were rubbers. That is true. Yet, to a certain degree, it is also a simplification. Ruber's experience is obviously intertwined with yours. My characteristics, as they are displayed through the personality, therefore, come from you as well as from Ruber. Point 1. End of sentence. Triggers were needed also to initiate my emergence through that personality. I display into your world. Ruber's own background and questions were highly vital as such initiating impulses. Your questions merged with his. It was the practical impetus of your need at the time, however, that operated as the final emotional trigger. You recalled the circumstances. Ralph said yes, in 1963. They said Ruber provided himself with a background in which a parent was steadily chronically ill, and in which the medical profession with its beliefs was in constant sight. His mother was not medically neglected. His background included far more than illness, however, and the medical profession. But Ruber knew that the conventional medical framework was not the answer to human ills. When you became ill, the trigger was set to find another solution. Psychic structures interweave, and the realities do, one through the other. My personality, as it so richly presents itself, is to some extent a joint creation of yours. This does not mean that I do not have my own reality, for I do. But in my relationship with you and Ruber, and in my relationship with your world, I do take certain characteristics that come from each of your realities. You do not understand how alike you two are. Ruber is as detailed about his own working habits as you both admit you are in yours. He seems to be in awe, relatively speaking, of your simplified, perfectionist, detailed ways, while to a certain extent you seem to be in awe of his inspired, undetailed ways. Again, each of you play. I am relatively in your terms, unemotional at my own level of activity. Rather, my emotional behavior does not follow your patterns. That is closer to the truth. I have long delegated your kind of emotional activity to unconscious behavior, in your terms. Our focuses are different, yet the overall coloration of your experience does come through to me. And through this delightful personality, I can to some extent relate to it. You set upon this adventure, the two of you. It is meaningless to say that the books are rubbers. Your ideas of perfection and love of detail, or if you prefer, your feeling for the significance of detail that appears exteriorized in your notes, is as present in the inner consistency of the material itself as given by me. Ruber keeps track of intuitive details that neither of you are even conscious of, and so there shows an integrity that he at least sometimes is not aware of. You yourselves adopt personality, though you are usually not aware of doing so. So I adopt a personality that can communicate with your own. In one manner of speaking, mine is heroic, larger and multidimensional. On the other hand, I can only operate mentally in your world. It is Ruber who must walk down the street. Ruber can walk down the street easily and naturally. He passed an important plateau of beliefs that has led him to definite physical improvements. Those improvements continue. He now had to put them together. That is, he is in the process of putting the new beliefs together, coordinating them. This brings me to a particular point, difficult to describe. He needs a particular psychological balance. On the one hand, he must not be impatient. On the other, he must not let ideas about time and the body impede him. Frank has been of great help because he can physically deduce the changes that are occurring, so offering physical evidence. Yet Frank believes that muscles can only operate in a certain way in time, and he supposes that certain improvements must therefore take so much time. Such is the case generally speaking, and yet the agility of the belief can completely triumph over such ideas. Ruber should use Frank's physical assessment as encouragement, but not be confined by it. The muscles need time, practically speaking, yet the time needed can be prolonged if it is concentrated upon. The entire tooth problem is the result of tension applied to the jaws. What I said earlier still applies on that point. You have been of great help, more now than ever, for he needs your encouraging assessment that he is physically attractive, that he is not alone, but has you to discuss these issues with. The plateau, however, is just that. He is ready for another leap in understanding. That brings him to another higher point. He is learning to use his methods better, and obsession and a hearty good night. Rest assured that no lived experience is valueless, but serves as light. Even singing failures serve as experience in words you do not know. They are aware of your endeavors. Your acts go into a bank of experience from which others can draw. They are no futile acts, for all of them are valid, and contribute to banks of experience, and to the birds of cells who are endowed with your experience as knowledge. So do you benefit from other sources of wisdom than your own. If you are fossil, you can call up on these other sources for solutions. Let even cellular comprehensions work into this being that will automatically incite psychological recognitions. We are distant but vital. Our message is directed through your psyches from probable futures and pasts, in which we are the parents of your experience.